10 years ago, when I was 17 and in my last year of high school, a wonderful game called McPixel came out. I have no idea how I learned about it, but I got it from my phone and it became a real thing for me and my friends at school. Hours of laughter were had, despite the game not being long at all. Those are memories I didn't even remember I had, until McPixel 3 came out and brought it all back. So naturally, I knew I had to get the game, and let me tell you, it didn't disappoint me at all. But I have to say my favorite's still McPixel 2. But anyway, McPixel 3 is classified by the devs as a save-the-day adventure that sees the titular wannabe hero avert one disaster after another at every turn, using unconventional yet entertaining methods of mayhem. And honestly, this description fits the game very well. There are 100 levels and each of them gives you usually 30 to 60 seconds timer to somehow save the day, or yourself, from certain doom, which is usually an explosion. You do so via point and click style gameplay, though you can play with a controller and keyboard as well. On some scenarios, the dynamic changes and you get minigames in different genres, such as a 2D platformer, but those are few and far between. Each level has tons of endings called gag ending, and one save the day ending. If you want to 100% the entire thing, you have to collect all the gag endings. They're usually pretty worth it though, as the most genuinely random and potentially funny things happen with each one of them. While the humor didn't exactly land for me at times, I still had a blast collecting them all. That being said, the way to get most endings is very simple. You can highlight clickable elements in your screen and you can click them in a different order every retry. That's it. One example I can offer is an early stage in a train. You have, amongst other things, a woman carrying a fishbowl and a fish on the floor. If you pick up the fish first and then click the bowl, you get one ending. But now, if you click on the bowl without clicking on the fish first, you get another ending. Neither of them save the day and both of them are absurd. Now, not all are simple. Every so often you do get endings that require you to think outside the box, and I even got stuck in a few. It might seem like all of this is negative criticism, but honestly I think it works in the game's favor. But with the gameplay out of the way, I need to say there is a reason why I mentioned high school in my opening paragraph, aside from the memories and to show the meaning the original McPixel had for me. The reason is that the game was hilarious to all of us high school students, and that's because the game has a very crude humor. I really can't describe it better than saying that it's high school level humor. McPixel 3 lives, and for some it dies, by its jokes. 10 years later, I'm sad to say some of the jokes just didn't land for me, but thankfully a lot of them still did. Although I'm not sure what that says about me. Well, no, humor is a very personal thing for each of us, so I'll give you an example of both something that got me good and something that left me with the biggest of poker faces. In one early level, a house is on fire. There's an old guy running and everything's chaotic. You can kick the old guy into the fire, which was hilarious to me because I'm an awful person. But the solution to the level is actually to drink water and then click on the fire, which causes you to pee. And pee. And pee. And soon enough you start pissing everywhere and fill the house with piss and put out the fire. Yeah, this is one of the examples that really didn't land for me. On the other hand, another level had you inside a character's brain, and every time you did something in there, the character would react in real life and everybody would stare. It was just so random and chaotic seeing the character that you were inside of. Which now that I say that out loud sounds very weird, but it was very random and chaotic seeing him just spin his chair, slam his face against the keyboard, and I just couldn't stop myself from laughing. And it didn't involve pee or fart jokes. Well, mostly. So hopefully you see what I mean. The absolutely chaotic nature of this game and its gags can be hilarious, but definitely not to everyone. And like I said, quite a few of the jokes really didn't land for me. But you know, it's a personal thing, so just keep in mind what I said. It's mostly high school humor mixed with chaotic, random, and absurd humor. If you're unsure if this is for you, watch a few trailers on the Steam store page and you'll get the gist of it fairly quickly. On to other gameplay elements, the game has a hub world which can unfortunately be very annoying. It mainly involves going left and right on the map, and you have to find new levels to play in said hub world. Each level has around 5 to 7 scenarios, and each scenario has a lot of solutions, the aforementioned gags. The problem here is that every time you find a level, you get teleported back to the same point in the hub world, and it's very annoying to walk through multiple screens again, just to get to where you were and continue looking for new levels. At some point you do get a fast travel to a specific screen, but honestly it's a bit too little too late. I also mentioned that if you do find all gags you get 100% in the scenario, but what exactly does that get you? The answer is coins. That's right, the game has currency. You use it to unlock more levels. I unfortunately can't speak for how many of the gags you actually need to complete to get enough money to buy more levels, because I completed all gags and always had money, but I can say you don't need to complete all of them. I always had leftover money every time I bought a level, and usually quite a bit, so this mechanic really didn't get in the way. If you're wondering about the story, while McPixel 3 does kinda have one, it's absolutely not the focus here. Not at all. Most scenarios are not connected to one another, and it ends up just being a guy in often hilarious and absolutely insane situations, with even more nuts solutions. You can also find secrets in the scenarios that often unlock new scenarios, but honestly, said secrets are also gags, so if you're going for 100% you will unlock all of them. And while we're on the whole scenario discussion, the game allows you to skip cutscenes you've already seen, which is a blessing, given you will be playing through the same scenarios over and over, and often rewatching a lot of the stuff. The graphics are very simple, but they match McPixel 3's silliness very well. My issue is more so with the soundtrack, to be honest. It's a bit of a mixed bag for me. The tracks themselves are alright, but they get boring and repetitive fast for me. You can change the one playing via the main menu, but even then I didn't find it helped me much. The main issue, however, is that there are no sound effects for many things that should, in my opinion, have them. Take this asteroid section, for example. Give it a listen. Notice how it doesn't have a shooting or destroying noise, it's just music. See? I don't know, it's weird, and that's just one example. In terms of technical issues, I didn't run into any. Well, aside from constant crashing when I had my OBS set to record the game itself, via game capture. When I changed it to record my entire screen, the game stopped crashing. So I have no idea if this was a fault with the game or some weird interaction between both softwares that I was unlucky enough to run into. Honestly, all in all, I really liked McPixel 3. While not all jokes land, I still had a blast with the game and laughed quite a bit at some of the gags. I highly recommend watching trailers if you want to know if the humor is for you. Plus, there is the added bonus of this game bringing me back many good memories from high school, which I always appreciate. Not quite sure it's better than McPixel 2, but it's still a solid experience altogether. If you do pick it up, I hope you enjoy it. And that's it for me. If you liked this video, if it was useful to you, please do leave a like and consider subscribing. Both of these actions really help me out quite a bit. But most importantly, leave a comment if you're able. I love hearing from all of you. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye!